Hey guys, welcome back to Power Frog Productions. Apparently, we have changed the name. So, today we're doing episode 2 of my interview with my good friend and fellow veteran John Hodges, retired lieutenant colonel from the Air Force. He was a fighter pilot, worked for the DoD for many years. Just an all around great guy, and he's got some awesome stories. So, let's get into it. If you like what you're seeing, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we've got many more to come. Veterans helping veterans. We appreciate you. Enjoy.
That's a pretty good story.
That's one of my favorites.
That had an impact on my life, actually.
With your daddy.
Yeah. We used to drive home from school by this pond, and just a beautiful pond. And you looked at it, and immediately fish came to mind because it looked that fishy. It had cattails, it had weeds, it had logs, and you could tell there were fish in it. And I got home and I drove a old farm car that we had, I think it was a Chevrolet. And I drove it up to there was a house on the pond. So I stopped and I went to the door and knocked, and a lady came to the door, sweet old lady. And I asked her if I could get permission to fish in that pond back there. And she said, well, I don't have a problem with that. You can go fishing back there. I think she meant I could fish right behind her house, but I didn't get that part of it, you know. Well, and she said, oh, by the way, would you like to have a sticky? I said, well, I guess so. Yes, ma'am. She said, I just made these. And she had a plate of these things, and I put one of them in my mouth, and I immediately knew why it was called a sticky, because it stuck to the roof of your mouth. You couldn't get something in your mouth. You're like, and then she said, with a plate going, you want another one? I went, no, I don't think I want another thing. These are good. With clean good. Like, look. Finally got away from her and peeled it off the roof of my mouth. And went, I had a pretty good flavor, but you couldn't eat the damn thing hardly. If you put it on this side of your mouth, it'd stick to your teeth and you couldn't get it off. I went, shit, I ain't ever having a sticky again. Anyway, I know why they named it. Notwithstanding that part of it, I go down there and I go fishing, and I'm fishing with a number 3 Mepps lure, silver. You don't want the hair on the tail because that messes up the fish. It looks like weeds. So you got to get one with the bare hooks on the end of it, you know. Number 3 Mepps lure. And I go out there and I'm getting a hit on every cast, or catching a fish on every cast.
Right.
So I'm on the other side of this pond, and I got a stringer of about 6 fish. That's all I needed to take home for Mom to cook, you know.
Yeah.
And but I had caught probably 30, 40 fish. Pretty easy. I was throwing them back because I didn't want more than what we could eat. And these guys pull in. One pulls in front of my car on the other side of the pond, and pulls in the back of my car. And I'm like, what is this, you know? And the guy gets out and looks over and said, boy, what are you doing here? I'm thinking, let me see, I got a fishing pole in my fucking hand. And I hold up a stringer of fish, and I said, I'm fishing. Duh. And he said, you get over here. You come over here, boy. Well, I come over there, and there was these 2 old codgers there that look pretty old, but they're wiry looking son of a bitches, you know. And the guy says, who gave you permission to fish in this pond? I said, well, the lady up the street there gave me permission. He says, you're a goddamn liar. And I went, nobody in South Carolina talks to a boy like me, 14-year-old. And use the GD word or anything, you know. Yeah. That just ain't done in South Carolina.
Right.
You respect kids and all that. And I said, well, we can go. And I smelled, when I got within about a 4-foot bubble of these guys, I could smell the whiskey on them.
Right.
I mean, it was worse than that Rebel Yell smell. I guarantee you, these boys they were soused. And the guy said, I said, well, why don't we just, if you think it's a lie, we just go up there and ask the lady. You'll see that she gave me permission. He said, we will do that. And they got me by the arm. And I'm thinking, if I kick this guy in the nuts and grab a log, if I go by a log, I'll kick this guy in the nuts, and I'll grab that damn stick and beat the shit out of the other one. I think I can take these son of a bitch. I'm getting angry. I'm gonna kick the raft. Then I looked at, and they looked so damn wiry, like something out of that movie Deliverance. And I went like, no, I don't really need to do that, because if they get to jump on me and I don't do it just perfect, they're gonna kick my ass, kill me, and leave me in the bushes or something. I said, no, let's just take the ride. And so they got me by the arms, and up I go to the lady's house, and they knock on the door. She comes to the door, and they say, did you give this boy permission to fish here? And she said, well, yes, I did. It's just fine for him to fish back here. And they said, what gives you the right, bitch, to let him fish here in our pond? Now there's a second flag. These guys just call this lady a bitch. And I'm going like, this is not right. These guys are screwed up, and I'm really getting angry now.
You don't do that down here.
Yeah. Well, there's a phone just inside her door, and I asked her, I said, ma'am, can I use your telephone? And I called my dad. Our number back then was 6549. That was it.
Yeah.
4 digits. And I called, Mama answered. I said, Mom, is Pop there? I need to talk to Dad. And Pop gets on the phone. I said, Pop, I'm up here at this lake, this pond on the curve near Weston's Lake up here. And these guys are holding me against my will, and they won't let me go. And I'm going to get angry, Dad. I'm going to do something. I'm getting pissed off. He said, Callaway, you stay where you are. Don't let them take you anywhere. If you have to hold on to a damn oak tree, you hold on to it. Don't let them take you anywhere. I'm on the way. Well, we leave, and they got me by the shoulders again, and I guess they had already called the cops about me being out there, but they weren't there yet. And they're walking me back to the car where they are. And we get down to the car, and I hear this. I went, no, that's Dad's car, And then I hear, and that's Frank's 55 Chevrolet. I can hear it from about 2 miles away, and I'm going like, and I'm thinking, the shit is about to hit the fan. These boys are going to get a big surprise here. And they don't know what it is. They don't realize that the cavalry is on the damn way. Pop pulls into that damn dirt road where they are, and he just slides right up to where they're standing. And Brian and Frank pull in behind him, and the 55 Chevrolet, and they get out, and Brian and Frank have 2 Browning 12-gauge automatics, Belgian-made, nice guns. Oh, man, nice guns. And Pop's got his Army 45, and he gets out, and he walks up, and I'm standing there, and he said, you can let go of my boy. And they let me go. And he said, Callaway, you come right over here. He said, all right, which one of you is the sheriff? I said, well, no, I'm not the sheriff. He said, then you must be the sheriff. And I went, no, I'm not no sheriff. He said, neither one of you guys is the sheriff. And he said, you're holding my boy. He said, you know what that's called in South Carolina? It's called kidnapping is what it is. You just kidnapped my boy. He said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make Frank Hodges the self-appointed sheriff right now. So y'all can just call me sheriff if you want to, because I'm in charge. He said, what I want you to do, I want you to go lay down in that ditch over there so that after I shoot you, I don't have to drag you out of the damn road to get my car back out of here. And he said, Brian, you go to the end of that dirt road. Anybody bypasses me or Frank, you shoot them. Don't let them pass the end of that damn dirt road. Brian walks out with that gun towards the end of the dirt. And he looks at Frank and says, you stand behind me. Any one of these two jumps on me or tries to jump on me, you shoot him, Frank. All right? He said, now you got 3 guys watching you. You're going to get down in that gully is what you're going to do, so I don't have to drag you. And the guy's going, you can't be serious. He said, I'm serious. You get in that goddamn ditch. And he cocks that son of a bitch and points it. And I look at Frank, and I'm going like, what the fuck is he? I'm like, Pop's lost his fucking mind. Pop! And I'm looking at Brian and go, Brian, come here. Well, Pop's going to shoot these motherfuckers. Pop's going to, and Frank's going, I don't know what he's going to do, but you ain't going to change it. Whatever he's going to do, he's going to do. And that's it. Pop's going to shoot somebody. He's going to make them get in the ditch and shoot them. And Pop said, get in that damn ditch. And they did. They went over and laid down. And my heart almost stopped. I'm going like, Pop walked over there with that 45 and put it right beside one of them's head. Pow! That something just went off. You ain't heard a 45 up close. That's a loud gun.
Yes.
He shot that damn gun, and Brian, Frank, and I both. I'm going, oh God damn! He just killed one of them. He just killed some like shit. Bob said, I hadn't killed anybody. He said, you get up out of that ditch now. Get up out of there. And they both got up, and both of them had pissed their pants completely. I mean, and they're standing there shaking like this, going. And he looked at me and said, were you scared? Are you scared now? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are. Yes, sir. He said, how about you? Are you scared now? Are you scared? He said, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said, we're sorry. We didn't mean to kidnap you. He said, well, you're not half as scared as my son was when you kidnapped him here and held him against his will. You fuck around with any children in South Carolina, and somebody like me is going to find you and he's going to shoot you.
Yeah.
He said, you're lucky this time you get in that car and don't you screw with any kids in South Carolina, or somebody's going to find you and they're going to shoot you.
Yeah.
Well, we got in the car going back home. I left my car there and riding with Pop, and he says, Callaway, he said, you didn't do nothing wrong. Don't you worry. He says, there's people like that all over that you're going to run into. And they're just not right. They're just not quite right. They're not gentlemanly, and you're going to run into them, no. He says, what you need to do is you need to let me know when you're going somewhere fishing or something. Off of our farm, you let me know, and then I'll make sure and take care that you get home safe and all that. But you're going to run into people like that, so you didn't do nothing wrong. And I said, well, Pop, I thought you were going to shoot him. He says, Callaway, I was about this close. I would have shot.
Yeah.
If they'd have fought, if they'd have done anything but what I told them to do, I would have shot them right there. And lesson number one is never pull a gun out unless you intend to shoot somebody.
That's right.
He said, I would have. Good lesson for me on pulling guns out.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
I did go back fishing there, though.
Did you?
Yeah. And I went up and apologized to that lady for them getting involved in stuff. And I wish my pop had made them march up there and apologize to her, but he didn't. I'm sure if he'd have thought of it, he would have.
Sure.
But that's the fish story.